The next stop in our journey through the evolution of the drum set and drum set playing is 1909. And this date is super important for all us drummers today because it was the date that the Ludwig family patented their famous bass drum pedal design. Now, we'll get to this pedal in a second, but certainly pedals had been around for a while. I've seen a photo from 1840 that showed a very crude operated foot device, but probably by 1870, in the 1870s, it was standard for drummers to use what was called an overhang pedal. And this was a real interesting device. It was also fairly primitive in that it actually attached to the top of the bass drum and went over the top, and then this spring thing came down and had this footboard, and you'd hit the footboard, and this little beater thing that was attached to the spring would whap, go in and hit the drum. Now, the overhang pedal design was really clunky. It was hard to get control over it. It was hard to play it quickly. And if you remember, we talked about double drumming. Most drummers in the 1870s actually preferred to do double drumming without any pedal at all as a way to play multiple drums rather than use one of these overhang pedals because they were so clumsy and hard to use. So this is a Ludwig pedal. This one is actually a little bit later. This one's from 1924, but it's very similar to the earliest pedals. And what always blows me away, we think, oh gosh, 1909, you know, that's over 100 years ago. Obviously, you know, what we have today is so much better than what those guys came up with back then. But in reality, we're still using the exact same pedal for the most part that they were using over 100 years ago. That's how durable and well thought out this design was. And as you could see, you basically have a spring, an adjustable spring. You have kind of a classic footboard, and that just does the same deal, pulls it down. You have a way to attach it to the hoop of your bass drum and tighten it down, and indeed you even have two different adjustments there, just like you do on most modern pedals. So this guy, you know, has been around for a long time. Now, a couple of the things that, you know, again, we think we're so advanced today. Well, these guys had a lot of real cool advancements going on as well. One of those is that early pedals often actually had a cymbal attached to the bass drum, and they would have a little thing coming out of here. This one has an attachment for it that you can see here, a little clanger. So when you press down on the footboard, this little clanger would come up and hit the cymbal that was attached to the batter head of your bass drum. So when the bass drum hit, wham, it would get that clanging effect. The other thing you'll notice about this pedal that's a little different is this beater ball. Now, we've probably seen felt beaters before, but back in the day, they really had larger beaters. And again, this is because the bass drums of the time were much larger. They were often 26, 28, 30, even sometimes up to 40 inches in diameter. So they were huge. So the beaters really still resemble a marching band bass drum beater, which is a lot, you know, tends to be a lot puffier and thicker. And where it's wearing away, you can see it's like a lambskin under here. So this is a lamb's wool beater. The other thing that's so cool about this pedal that we don't really think about today is that your average working drummer of the time didn't have a car. Not everybody had a car in those times. So they had to use public transportation to get to their gigs, which means they had to carry the entire drum set on their back because whatever you could fit on the streetcar was all you were allowed to carry. So this pedal is very, very cool because we can do this. Take that out, take this out, pull this out, and now your pedal's broken down, and you could just tuck it in your overcoat pocket, take it to work. So there you go, the bass drum pedal. Pretty cool. Who could tell me what made a drum set a drum set?
The low boy.
Kick pedal.
Match grip.
The sock cymbal.
My name is Daniel Glass. I'm a drummer, author, and educator. In 1994, I joined a band called Royal Crown Revue. We were trying to figure out how to take the rebellious spirit of modern styles like punk and put it into big band and other roots music. We found out it was already there. I've been absorbed in this world ever since. I started researching the evolution of the drum set and the way that we play it. In the last dozen years, I've interviewed more than 60 different legendary drummers. I came to a startling conclusion. Perhaps more than any other instrument, the drum set is equipped to tell the story of America and American music.
All of these immigrants coming from around the world brought their technology. jazz music and pop music were one and the same. You could dance to it.